Peace, what's up? This is Jerome with Quantum Light Consciousness. Today, I want to talk about the dimensions, duality, and how duality is actually polarizing itself and making itself more defined in the collective consciousness today. Alright, so as you progress on your spiritual journey, as you ascend, and continue working on yourself, you're going to see levels of awareness kind of like become more apparent and become more obvious that this shift is happening no matter what. Like, this shift is going down. People are becoming completely new people in front of your face. Things are going to unfold at rates faster than you could process them, and getting into your center is paramount. Having that space within yourself where you can actually process these things and look at these things and be like, oh, okay, I understand this from my spiritual work. This is this. This is a CME happening. This is a level of awareness where people are all brainwashed. Like, you can literally have different levels of a compendium within and have that level of reference to be able to process yourself through these realities. So that's what I want to talk about today, and let's get to it. So what I like to describe duality as the yin and yang. There's always light in the dark, and there's always dark in the light. You can't have a light reality without a dark reality, which is why you always will hear me speak of light higher selves and shadow higher selves, okay? Because there are good areas to live in the United States, and there are bad areas to live in the United States. There are different levels of awarenesses that you can exist in, okay? Now, in a nice area, is the community better somewhere that's in somewhere like Flint, Michigan? Not exactly. People are the same. Every person is a good person down to the core of it. At least that's what I believe. To take the most hardened murderer, some type of just serial killer, and then you see it's just a person who just had a bad time, who had learned the wrong things and had terrible synchronicity their entire life. Okay, so if you go into negative places, you'll see in these places it's just negative synchronicity, and people just getting sold a bad deal. Literally, you're born and then you wake up and your water's poison, and then you're malnourished and poisoned since the day you were born. And there's places like that all over the United States, all over the world. Okay, so there's good and bad, of course. I'm not going to go totally 100% just bad, and I'm not going to go totally 100% just light, okay? Because that wouldn't be truthful. That wouldn't be balanced. That wouldn't be accurate, all right? So duality to me is a whole perspective. It's a balanced perspective. And in that perspective, having your choice of where you want to level yourself within the center, okay? Because you walk in the center. You walk on your path in your pillar of light in the center. All right, you exist in the center as a light being, and then you basically exist in the third dimension. Okay, exist in the third dimension, and then you have a higher self who is also the fourth dimensional version of you, which is basically you in 3D Earth, except it's fourth density Earth. It's the same thing. Okay, and then you have your fifth dimensional self, which is your fifth dimensional higher self, which is, if you know spirituality, you know what 5D is supposed to be like. Just the perfect version of you who's never seen a bad day in their life, who's never had a bad thing happen to them. Picture yourself basically beaming, smiling from ear to ear, and your face resembled a living sun. Okay, that's what your fifth dimensional version will look like. All right, so when you balance your fourth dimensional aspect and your fifth dimensional aspect, you're able to actually see the whole picture, and then you're able to see the world literally for what it is, okay? Which is your own personal truth. living in duality, it's basically like you get to understand like how people get triggered, why people get triggered. You get to understand like what triggers are. I'm not going to use the word your triggers because people are like, oh, you got to work with your triggers. Like, why would you ever want to own a trigger? Like, first off, if you know what a trigger is, it means it's the outside energy that doesn't belong to you and doesn't even belong to the person who it's triggering. So why would you want to own it? Why would you even want to work with it at all? You want to get rid of it. Like, you don't want that. All right? Because the goal of spirituality, at least to me, the goal of spiritual progression, the goal of ascension is developing an inner space where no matter what, everything's going to be okay. You have that inner space. You have that safe atmosphere within yourself that's eternal, that nothing can get through, nothing can touch at all. Like, nothing can actually, like, be there because it's not that. You understand? Like, this is what you would actually think they would teach in something like the Bible, like, developing a space within yourself so after you die, you know where you're at. You know what's going on, you know? Not, thrown in the darkness and then being controlled by fear by a written text that was written by, a genocidal maniac, as James Gillian likes to put it. So it's like, so being in that space and knowing that space and allowing yourself to become one with that space is probably the most important area of ascension to me. I like to call that area my light pillar. I like to call that area my center. All right, that's where I exist primordially. That's where every person actually exists primordially, if they would take the time to center themselves and understand what a center is, understand what a light body is, understand what chakras are, understand what an aura is, the basics. I'm not asking much. I'm not asking anybody anything, actually. I'm just talking from the heart. So it's like, when you get into your center, all right, you're walking your path. Literally, you can get so far into your center that your vision literally starts to polarize. All right, sometimes when I go too far in meditation, I will actually start to see the world literally polarized. I'll walk in two dimensions at the same time. All right, so I open my eyes, and this side, my right side, is total with shadow, and then this side is total with golden 5D. And I'm just walking around. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Like, literally, I'm a walking pillar of light. But then again, I'm also a walking dimension. And then again, I'm also a multitude of all the dimensions collaborated into one universal body. Because every person is actually a living, walking universe. All right. So here's what it is. Like, when you start to see duality, I wrote out an entire diagram just for this video. It's also why I'm wearing this High Priestess shirt, because it's like, you got the shadow and then you got the light. So this is it. Like, literally, you can start to see the world. When you see the world, like, you're going to start to see stuff, like, if you choose to go into meditation, if you choose to actually, like, look at what's going on, as far as, triggers go, as far as duality goes, as far as polarization goes. You'll be able to see the world with between two ways, one or two ways, or just in oneness. You can see it on your right side, which is chemtrails, dive bombing, just poisonous air, just triggering people everywhere, just electro smog coming out from every like electrical device. Or you can see it from the positive side, which is your 5D, which is you being immersed in nature, harmonized with Gaia, breathing in total complete bliss in your light body with like animal friends, and you just having a picnic at the park, on your spare time, or with your friends or whatnot, and then shifting your reality to actually like help support that. Okay, so here's what you see. All right, here's a diagram. All right, so you have 4D, all right, there's electrosmog. All right, basically you see stuff like basically from like an area of where it's just darkness. I want to say nighttime dimension, but it's like if you move up like in the 6D or 8D, it's like a totally nighttime all the time. But 4D is just 3D, just fourth density. So you can see things from the dark perspective, like, you know, corporations, they take over everything. You know, they make you pay money for every single thing. You know, make you pay just, you know, for permission to drink water and sleep in a clean bed at night. And, you know, they pollute everything, you know. Or you have 5D, which is, you know, community-based. Everybody shares everything. Everything's happening in a happy, balanced fashion. And we're all co-creating happily together. And the sun isn't blocked. You know, there's no chemtrails everywhere. You know, and then here's you at the center. And then you're walking on your path. You're walking on your path. You're on Earth. You're walking on your path. And then the Earth is ascending regardless. All right. So if you fall off to the right, you literally fall down. Okay. You fall down, and then you either get caught in a reincarnation of that, or you reincarnate somewhere else. And then it's like the same thing. All right. So you're walking on your path, and then you have the Earth. You know, it's going through space, it's ascending regardless. And then, as I speak of, on the right side, you have your sixth dimensional version of self in the sixth dimension, your eighth dimensional version of self in the eighth dimension, 10th dimensional self, 12th dimensional self. Then you have your high night forms. Okay, and the same here. You have 9D. I mean, you have 5D. You have 7D. You have 9D. You have 11D, and then you have 13. Now, when I look up my soul stream, here's what I see. Alright, I see my 13th dimensional self, which is basically just like a white sun, right? And then I see my high form of higher consciousness as a night form of higher self, which is just a black hole. Okay. Alright, so it's like it's just like you are your own universe. However, if you're aware of you being in the universe while the Earth is traveling through space, spiraling through space, ascending upwards, spiraling and following the sun, you literally become your own universe, and then you can see yourself literally as your own universe. Okay? All the way down to you, still here, conscious, self-awakened, self-actualized on your path. Okay? All the way back up to source. Alright? It's funny to me because, like, people get triggered, and then it's like nothing phases you anymore. It's because, like, if you can see energy, you're going to see night self. You're going to see astral doppelgangers. You're going to see little creatures just creep up behind people and then just attach to their head, and then like they're going off on you, and they expect you to have some type of reaction because they're pissed off at something that has nothing to do with anything, that's totally completely out of proportion. And then you're just standing there just looking at the freaking thing just like siphoning energy off the person and triggering them to hell. And then you just wait for it to leave. You wait for the person to stop talking, and then the thing doesn't even have it doesn't have any type of function besides just suck energy. Alright, so it's not thinking. The entity, the creature, the astral doppelganger, the negative higher self that hasn't been transmuted yet, they will literally leave. They will literally like just pop off of the person, and the person will go back and actually like try to actually talk level-headed. You know, this is the type of stuff that I experience, you know, just every day on the planet Earth, you know. And it's kind of like something that you kind of have to understand to learn to be a master at for yourself. Literally try to learn to actually master your processing of your emotions and your existential awareness of just understanding that you exist while all the stuff is happening around you. You exist while the Earth is barreling through space. and then you are in a vortex, and then you are barreling through your own inner space, and then you're also in your own primordial space, and then you're dealing with people who don't even know what a chakra is, and then they're siphoning energy off others while they're getting siphoned off of, and it's just trigger hell, like no matter where you look sometimes. Or sometimes everything's just totally completely bliss, and then you're in 5D. Just understand that existential awareness that dimensions are going to begin to polarize. Dimensions are going to begin to actually define themselves by the actual activities and levels of awareness that make itself apparent to the individuals taking part in those territories, in those levels of existence. All right, so I guess that's all I wanted to say. Like, I tried to make this as like basic as possible, but this just ended up kind of being like more advanced. Like, I'm not sure if you guys can even like process this, but like, this is what I had. Like, I'll put up videos and then I'll edit them to try and like make it like at least sound explainable. But like, you know, there's only so much I can do. Everybody has a glass ceiling, and let's just keep it at that. So peace and love. If you guys like a session, I do sessions at quantumlight.net. I do healing, I do intuitive coaching, numerology readings, and so on. I have course out, so on. Yeah, and so much more to come. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.